Hey guys, it's Israel again, back with Heavy Metal Reptiles, and today I'm going to start with a disclaimer. I am not a venom professional. I do not work with venomous snakes, yet. With that being said, this again is based off of pure research and understanding of these snakes. Two of these snakes I would like to see in my future, and again, not an expert on laws. Make sure you check your local laws before you decide to purchase any of these animals. It's never good to get caught with something you're not supposed to have. Those animals usually go to a zoo. Unfortunately, believe it or not, zoos are junk. So, today we're going to talk about 3 kind of entry-level venomous snakes. I have Baphomet out today. He is not a venomous snake. He's just my buddy. And I love him. And I don't think he's been in a video in a minute. So, peace out. So, we're going to talk about 3 entry-level venomous snakes. I do want to throw out there, each one of these snakes are some type of venomous. They are either a very mild venom. Well, okay, they're all very mild venom. The thing is these snakes aren't supposed to be able to kill you if you get bit by them. They're mainly rear fang venomous, but please understand the way this venom reacts on studies and the way they say it reacts may react different with you depending on your body and things and if you have a reaction to it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this. So, the first snake we're going to talk about is the Asian vine snake. Baphomet might get a little striky too. It's his feeding day tomorrow too. And he was good when I got him out. We're going to visit this again, knowing your snake. He was good when I got him out. His mood's kind of changed. We're going to let it play out and see what happens. We might switch out snakes to, that was weird, to a different snake. Just because if he's in that mood, we don't want him to, be stressed or anything like that. But we'll see. He's not giving me a lot of tongue flicks or anything like he's hunting or anything. But that's also why I'm letting him kind of sit on the table. I just like him. I wanted him in the video. He's one of my favorites. Anyways, the Asian vine snake. I personally do not have any experience with this animal. The knowledge I do have came from research I did for this video. So it's going to kind of be a bland explanation. But they're rear fang venomous along with every animal on this list. They are colubrid, also the same for every animal on this list. It's a very mild bite. Again, same for everything on this list. The difference comes down to the reaction, the normal reaction, I should say, for the bite. So rear fang venomous, it's usually pretty rare that you even get envenomated because of the type of fangs they have. So when you are to get bit or were to get bit and venom was actually put into you, for these guys it's described mainly like a bee sting. They also describe the other 2 like this too, but there's irritation. There's been reports of like sick stomachs and things like that, but nothing that's going to kill you, with the exception of cases of allergic reactions. For instance, all monitors, I guess, carry some type of poison. And when most people get bit, there's skin irritation, and it's fine. You guys will know Brian Barsacek. His videos were probably in the suggested because you're watching this video. He was bit by a monitor, and his airways, it was actually black throat specifically, his airways started to swell shut and things like that because of the reaction he had. So I want you guys to be aware you can have different reactions than just skin irritation or an upset stomach from this venom. But it is a good starter snake to kind of understand that you have a snake that is venomous in your hands. These guys are reaching, let's see, I wrote it down. guide saying they reach around 6 foot long. Again, I don't really have any interest in ever owning these snakes, so I haven't done a whole lot of research on them. I can tell you that I have seen them, and I've never seen a 6 foot long one, but I've also only seen really young ones. So, that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the second one. I know this probably doesn't help you a whole lot as far as what you're going to move to is you can move towards a venomous snake, but to be honest with you, once you see these guys, you're probably not going to want to get one and handle one anyways. The next two are going to be the ones for sure you guys are going to want to really work with. So, move on to the next one. So, I'm going to add something in real quick before we move on to the second one for sure. I did want to kind of touch their diet a little bit with the Asian vine snakes. Their diets are small rodents, lizards, and some amphibians. Just wanted to throw that in. I did want to throw in the diet in case you guys do decide that you want to buy these animals. This will give you a starter of what you're kind of looking at for feeding. But I'm going to move on to the false water cobra. Again, we're going to have pictures up. The wife's probably mad at me already because I haven't said picture, because she added something that puts the pictures in. But we will put pictures in here somewhere of each snake. But the false water cobra, again, rear fang venomous. Again, highly unlikely that you're going to actually get envenomated. I shouldn't say highly unlikely, but unlikely. It's kind of uncommon to get envenomated. By these snakes. Again, though, you're going to have slight irritation. These guys, I've heard, can be a little bit more intense as far as the venom goes. So you're going to get a rash, irritation around the bite. Again, with the that's a hunting. Okay, we just paused it for a second to see what was going on with Baphomet. Seems like he might have went into quick hunting mode, but he's a little moving now. I'm going to keep my hands on him and just kind of watch him. And this is another reason why I like to have the snakes out when I do these videos, is for you guys to kind of see and learn what you should be doing with your animals when they go into stuff like this. Baphomet. Don't come back towards me, buddy. Again, I don't necessarily know he's going to strike. He's just given those signs like he might be in a hunting mode. Again, he's supposed to... There's the lizard. He's given those signs like he's gonna... Or he's in a hunting mode and he's supposed to eat tomorrow. So, that being said, I might be squinching down a little bit and kind of moving with him to kind of keep him in control and have an eye on him. So, anyways, false water cobras. Their venom can be react a little differently, like I said, with everybody. Normally, it's going to be skin irritation, and rash around the bite. I'm sorry, guys. I like to have them out, so I'm trying to do two things at once now. But skin irritation around the bite. There has been reports, and as far as I know, it hasn't been from allergic reaction, so it's just something to think about, of sickness as far as stomach sickness goes. So again, a very mild bite. Those guys are going to be eaten on, and I've got their diet written down too, just so I don't screw it up. Mice, rats, actually chicken, frogs, things to that nature. I'm sure they can do amphibians also. In my personal opinion, I'm sorry if I'm moving that mic, just did all kinds of weird stuff to the audio. But I'm sure that they can do frogs and things to that nature also. Personally, if you can avoid any snake you have from being on an amphibian, you're probably better off. You're going to have to take an amphibian from the wild, more than likely, depending on your region, where you live, and if your pet store self-feeder frogs. So, just something to think about. But these guys are going to give you more of that venomous feel. They do get a pretty decent length. I don't know if I wrote down the lengths for these or not. I didn't. The one I saw was about 3 feet long, so it's gonna be a little bit more of a girth to it too than what the vine snake would. So it's gonna give you more of that feel. You can get yourself a hook and kind of work with them, especially if you're working with venomous. You're gonna want to know how to use that hook properly. Again, these are kind of the snakes that I would be doing it with. So we'll go ahead and move on to the last one. Alright guys, so now the number one snake, and this is one I want to work with in my personal opinion, is the hognose snake. I'll give you a reason why I kind of consider it number one is because, first off, fun fact, they're venomous and poisonous. They're a rear-fanged venomous snake and they're poisonous. Okay, I lied. It's not proven to be a poisonous snake yet, but scientists believe these guys actually, because they eat toads in the wild, and scientists believe that they actually eat toads and store the poison from the toads in their bodies to where they can release a scent later on to predators when they're playing dead. They actually play dead, and ward them off, letting them know, hey, I'm poisonous, but they're also venomous. Like I said, this isn't proven, but I think they're already immune to that poison, or they could be reusing it in their bodies. So that's just kind of cool. We know snakes break down and take things from their meals. So, that's kind of an interesting fact, and I can see that to be true. Anyways, they're going to be what I would say the best one to start with. I personally want one because they're so cute. They got shovel faces. They're burrowers, so they burrow, and they actually use that nose to burrow. It's really cool. They are rear-fanged venomous. I think I said that already. Their venom is kind of the same as the other ones. There's reports of skin irritation and rashing, sick stomach. The one thing that does separate these guys from the other ones is they actually have had reports of paralysis with their venom. Nothing to be afraid of, I don't think. The honest likelihood of you getting bit by these guys is I would say a very, very, you have a better chance of getting bit by your ball python, and since everybody wants to say that they're so non-bitey, you actually do have a better chance of getting bit by your ball python than you do a hognose, a western hognose. They do a bluff strike, where they strike, but they don't actually open their mouth. They play dead, where they roll over, and then you can flip them and roll them over again, and they're actually play dead. They do release a smell, like I was talking about. That can be kind of a downfall for some people if you're planning on keeping one. Something to be aware of also if you're going to keep one, especially getting them as a hatchling. They can be extremely hard to start on rodents. Most people have to scent with toad scent to get them started on small mice, and hope that they take off and run with it. Personally, if you could get a toad or some tadpoles or something and grow them up, that would probably be the best way to go, and buy toads or catch toads or whatever. Until then, personally, that's their main food source in the wild, so I would stick with that. They will eat small rodents and things though too. They're not going to get very big. You're talking about 2 feet, maybe a little over typically. I guess there has been talk of them getting up to 3 feet, but you're normally going to get a 2-foot one. If you get a 3-foot one, you got lucky. So they aren't going to be overly long. They aren't going to be overly long to where they're hard to control. And like I said, they're going to be a good snake to kind of practice keeping venomous. I think that no better way to practice than with the step down or the step below. Rear-fanged venomous snakes are fun and really not that deadly as long as you know what you're doing and you know what animal you're getting. I'm sure there's rear-fanged venomous out there that can kill you. None that I know of, though, because to be honest, I'm not looking for snakes that'll kill me. I'm looking for snakes to hold and play with. So I do want a rattlesnake, though, Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake. I want to get some snakes that are native to where I live and do some informational shows and things when I get to that point. But yeah, outro. I just want to reiterate with you guys that I'm not a professional. What? Nah, it happens. I'm not a professional. I do not work with venomous snakes. These are just something that, or a list I thought would be cool to put together to get you guys. It's more to get you used to keeping than handling, I guess. Your venomous snakes, because you're going to want to lock these guys up and stuff just like you would a rattlesnake or a king cobra, just for good practice. So with that being said, again, venom's going to react differently to everybody, so I'm not held accountable if you go and get bit. Don't go and get bit, but if you do get bit, you can't blame me. I just said so. But again, make sure you're watching your animals, learning your animals when you buy these things. That's going to be a big thing when you're working with venomous. So practice with these guys, get to know these snakes, get to respect these snakes, and understand what they're thinking and wanting and doing. Watch and listen to their signs, like what I had to do with him when he kind of went into that hunting mode during the video and kind of got extremely active out of nowhere. Yeah, and that's just kind of it, just make sure you guys are doing your due diligence and your research before you go out and purchase these animals also. I mean, I'm definitely not going to be your only source that you want to go to if you're watching this for information. You want to make sure you're checking multiple sources and learning as much as you can. There's definitely people out there that know more than me. I know my fair share, but there's people that's been doing this longer than me too. I mean, I'm only 23. Only 23. So, I mean, even though I've handled and done a lot with these reptiles through my life so far, you've got people out there that's been doing this for 30 years and can answer questions and do things and know things that I don't. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm unknowledgeable, because if I was, I wouldn't be doing these videos. So, again, feel free to reach out to me if you need help. Unlike a lot of these YouTubers, I am trying to get back to everybody that reaches out to me and has questions. Yeah, and I mean, I'm still learning every day too. Talking to people and learning new discoveries that they're making, and especially with breeding and things. So, like and subscribe and come back for the next video. Leave a comment if you guys got something in particular you want me to cover and go in depth with, and I'll be more willing, if I don't know it off the top of my head, to do my research. Give me some time. Maybe I'll send you guys a message or comment to you when, the day before, or give you a date of when I'm going to post that video if you're specifically asking for it, so you guys can see it. My work schedule kind of makes it harder to make videos through the week, so. But see you in the next video.